Sure. Hi, Tegan. Good morning, Christy. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. We're going to get started with today's virtual chat, which is going to be a little bit different than what we've done in the past. This is Shara that's speaking, the assistant director, and Carrie Hawthorne, our education curator, is going to be doing something a little bit different today. So I'm kind of zoomed in on a book, and so Carrie is actually going to be reading this book live with one of our animal friends. Anybody have any guess as to which animal she might have with her today? It is one of our animal ambassadors, and it's a favorite of the staff here at the zoo. What are we doing, Aurelia asks. And yep, that's a good question. Good morning, Sam and Aurelia. I see lots of hearts. Any guesses where we are right now? Oh, Alondra says good morning. Good morning. I have a guess from Rice, a bird, and that's a really good guess. A pigeon, says Patty, and you are correct. So I'm going to back up a little bit and bring into focus Carrie with one of our animal ambassadors.
Hi everybody. If you have joined us here in person at the Buttonwood Park Zoo in New Bedford, you've probably seen Compass. She is one of our animal ambassadors, as Shara said. She is a rock pigeon, which a lot of us are probably familiar with because they are found all over the world, pretty much in every city you can think of. The only place they're not really found is really cold places and really remote islands. Compass here is a rescue, so she has been with us since July of 2014. She actually showed up here on her own with a pretty severe wing injury, and so she has trouble flying, which would make it very difficult for her to live in the wild. So she has made residence here at the zoo where she participates in programming and is a great ambassador for her species and lots of animals around the world. The one thing I love to talk about with her is just how beautiful she is. A lot of people don't realize how pretty a pigeon can be. I don't know if you can see her neck feathers are actually changing colors as she moves. We call that iridescent feathers. So they're actually changing from blue to purple to gray. Pigeons can really be found in every color combination you can think of. There's white and brown pigeons, black pigeons, completely white pigeons, gray with this iridescent feathers and without. So they really do come in a lot of different coloring patterns. Right now she's doing a little bit of preening, so she's kind of making her feathers look nice for this video chat. So you can see her kind of picking at her feathers and kind of cleaning herself up a little bit.
So there is a question, why doesn't she fly away?
Yeah, so like I just said, she is part of our programming because she has a wing injury that makes it very hard for her to fly. She's also a good friend of mine, so she is pretty comfortable hanging out with me. During the day, Compass actually spends her time in our administration building with all of our staff in the offices, so she enjoys hanging out with everyone. And you may or may not notice this thing on her back. She's actually wearing a diaper, so in order to allow her to have access to our offices all day, we do let her or put her in a diaper every morning so that she doesn't make a mess as she's walking around. So she is trained to put her diaper on and off, which people always find a little bit silly.
So Linda, age 4, wants to know how pigeons get their food.
Great question. So pigeons tend to be scavenging on the ground. So in the wild, they would like to eat, and also here at the zoo, a variety of seeds, especially sunflower seeds, but really any kind of seeds off of the ground. So seeds out of grasses and other plants, sometimes berries. They don't really eat a lot of bugs or worms or things like that. One thing that's really important that we like to talk about with Compass and our other birds is although they do enjoy people food, obviously living in cities with people means that they have access to a lot of things like crumbs and things that people throw out for birds. But they really should be eating these seeds. This is what's nutritious for them. They will fill themselves up on that bread and the things that we feed them, and it can actually make them not hungry enough to eat the things that are really nutritious. So I like to think it's kind of like if your moms and dads only fed you candy all the time. You'd be happy and you'd be full, but you wouldn't be getting the nutrition you needed. So we always say to let the animals in the wild find their own food, they're going to do just fine.
Finn and Emmett are asking, how did she hurt her wing?
That's a great question. Unfortunately, we don't really know the answer to that. When she came to us, it had already happened. It happened in the wild. She was pretty young, so we think maybe she could have had some trouble falling out of the nest. Perhaps she had a run-in with a hawk or a falcon who like to prey on pigeons, especially in the cities, but we're not really 100% sure what happened.
So Sam, who's age 6, wants to know why she's named Compass.
That's a great question. So if any of you are familiar with Curious George has a friend pigeon named Compass. And so when Compass came to live at the zoo, my daughter was 4 at the time, and she was watching a lot of Curious George episodes. And so we decided we would name her after our favorite character.
All right. So Sam, age 7, wants to know, do pigeons have predators?
Yes. So one of the top predators of a pigeon is going to be a bird of prey. So things like hawks, peregrine falcons, things that also make homes in the cities, will like to eat pigeons for sure. So that's going to be their top predator, birds of prey.
And Elena wants to know, how many babies do pigeons have?
Great question, Elena. So pigeons will make a nice nest for their eggs, and the mom will lay 1 to 2 eggs at a time. The mom and dad actually will raise the babies together. They are monogamous, so for the adults out there, they know that means they mate for life. And so what they'll do is they have 1 or 2 eggs at a time. Those eggs take about 15 days to hatch, and then the babies stay in the nest for about a month. Then they head out. Each mom and dad can have up to 5 sets of babies in a year.
And Kaiden, age 9, wants to know, how do we know that she's a girl?
Great question. So it's really hard to tell the difference between a boy and a girl pigeon just by looking at them. So unlike something like a peacock where the males are super beautiful and the females are a little duller, these guys are not sexually dimorphic. So we can't really tell by looking at them. We would have to do blood work or really take a close look with a vet. But Compass here actually does lay eggs. So she does make a nest and lay eggs through the spring and summer months. And so we know she's a girl because only the girls can lay eggs.
All right. I think a lot of the questions that people are asking, we've kind of gone over. Do you want to get started?
Right. So what I thought we could do today, which is something that Compass really loves, this is her favorite book, which I'm sure a lot of you love this book too, by Mo Willems, Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus. I like it because there's a sassy pigeon in there, and Compass has quite the personality herself. So we're going to read this book to you just to try something different this morning, and then we can come back to questions afterwards as well. So this book, as any of you who have read it know, there's a lot of opportunities to interact, but I can't really hear you, but you're welcome to, when I ask a question, answer it in the comments or just yell at your computer if you want. I'm sure your parents won't mind if you want to get a little loud with this one because it's just fun. All right, so we're going to get started here. Hi, I'm the bus driver. Listen, I've got to leave for a little while, so can you watch things for me until I get back? Thanks. Oh, and remember, don't let the pigeon drive the bus. There he goes. Oh, there's the pigeon trying to sneak in. I thought he'd never leave. Hey, can I drive the bus? Please, I'll be careful. I tell you what, I'll just steer. My cousin Herb drives a bus almost every day. True story. You guys aren't letting her ride that bus. Vroom, vroom, vroomy, vroom, vroom. Pigeon at the wheel. No, I never get to do anything. Hey, I've got an idea. Let's play drive the bus. I'll go first. No, I bet I'm getting a lot of screams of no out there. Come on, just once around the block. Compass, they're saying no. No riding the bus. I'll be your best friend. How about I give you $5? What's the big deal? It's just a bus. No fair. I bet your mom would let me. I have dreams, you know. Fine. Let me drive the bus! Oh, sad pigeon. I'm back. You didn't let the pigeon drive the bus, did you? Great. Thanks a lot. Uh-oh. Bye. Hey. Uh-oh. There's an even bigger thing for the pigeon to try and drive. Dreams. Pigeons have dreams too, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed reading Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus with my friend Compass. Compass here is our animal ambassador pigeon. She's been with us since 2014. She'll be turning 6 this spring. Pigeons can live up to 15 years in captivity, so she's about middle-aged. She's got a ways to go. What she's doing right now, if you're just joining us, is just hanging out. She's preening herself, so cleaning up her feathers a little bit. And if you have any questions about pigeons, feel free to shout them out in the comments.
So Kaiden is asking, does she peck you guys?
Great question. So she sometimes will peck. She has a spot where she lives in my office, and she certainly doesn't always enjoy when people enter, especially if she's built a nest recently. So sometimes she'll peck at people's ankles, but for the most part, she just hangs out. She has a good time. She enjoys people very much.
Here's a great question. How many kinds of pigeons are there, and what is this one?
That's a great question. So there's over 250 species of pigeons in the world. This particular pigeon is called a rock pigeon. And rock pigeons get that name because if they were in the wild, they would be living on the faces of rock walls where they would be hanging out in their natural habitat. They have been domesticated. They're one of the first animals actually to be domesticated. There are hieroglyphics from the Egyptians that date back over 5,000 years where pigeons were domesticated. So that's how they ended up all over the world. People were spreading them around as people spread around messages around. They're excellent, have excellent homing abilities, so they're able to get from one place to another with messages. So they have been around for a very long time.
All right, Moki age 10 and Madiba age 7 from the UK want to know, why does she have such a beautiful neck?
That's a great question. So her particular colorings make it so that she has these iridescent feathers on her neck. So you can see they change colors when she moves. They're green and purple. Hopefully you can see that they're shiny. Not all pigeons have that coloring. Pigeons really do come in lots of varieties. So they can be brown, they can be gray, black, any number of combinations. And her particular markings have this extra special beauty, but it's not a boy-girl thing. It's just part of her genetics.
Emily also wants to know what else they eat other than birdseed.
So occasionally they'll eat a bug here or there, but really they really just like to eat bird seeds. Unfortunately, if given the chance, they will eat people food, so they will eat popcorn and bread, but we really recommend that we let them eat what they're supposed to eat, which is their nutritious natural food, not people food.
We have a lot of people saying they really enjoyed this, and you did a great job.
Oh, thank you. We enjoy this too. This has really been a shining light in all of our days.
Do pigeons sleep at nighttime?
That's
Reese, age 5, wants to know.
Great question, Reese. They are diurnal, so they are out mostly during the daytime, and they're going to hunker down at night. Compass definitely does that here at the zoo as well.
Does she have a favorite zoo companion?
She probably is pretty well bonded to me because we share an office, but she really enjoys just the company of the people around her. She loves going out to classrooms and visiting zoo crew and things like that. So I'd say she enjoys everybody.
Patty wants to know if they're related to mourning doves.
So they are in the same order and family. So the doves and pigeons do live in the same kind of grouping, but they are not that closely related.
Awesome. Let's see if we've got any questions that we haven't answered.
I'm going to put her down on the ground so you guys can see how she walks. I think it's kind of interesting. I'd love for you at home to maybe move your head like a pigeon. You may notice she kind of goes forward and back. She bobs her head quite a bit. That's not her new dance move for TikTok. That is because she has no depth perception. So she can't tell how far away things are, and so she's constantly having to readjust her sight. And so that's how she does that, is by kind of bobbing her head back and forth like that. And if you didn't notice, we're exploring in the gift store today, just for a change of scenery.
I'm gonna, just so folks can kind of see.
Here you go.
We are definitely missing our visitors, but it's kind of a fun adventure for Compass today. And this is actually a book that is in our gift store. Let's see. I think we've done a good job of answering the questions that people have.
Well, I hope that you guys enjoyed meeting Compass. They are an animal that people tend to overlook or not really give the credit they deserve. They're an amazing species. I really recommend you research them more. They have even gone so far as to have been awarded medals during World War I and World War II. Over 32 different pigeons have gotten those medals, which is pretty remarkable for sending messages back and forth during those wars. So they're incredibly smart, incredibly interesting species. We are glad that you were able to meet Compass today, and we hope to see you soon. We are doing these every morning at 11. So we hope that you'll come back. Maybe if we can get her in the light really well, we can see those feathers.
Oh, yeah.
We do post the full video afterwards, so if you missed the beginning or you missed the book, you can go back on and watch that on YouTube or on our Facebook page. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and thanks for spending some time with me and Compass.